Hey guys, welcome back to 88-Bit. I'm AJ and today we're building my first ever gaming PC. It's a budget build focused on a blackout concept. There's no RGB, which is also going to save a little bit more money. I've come from a long line of gaming laptops since I travel so much, but now that I've settled in Sydney, Australia, I think it's time for me to upgrade to a PC tower. So let's just get into it. Let's start off with what is probably one of the best value processors on the market right now for budget building, and it's the Ryzen 5 5600. I got this off of AliExpress for 113 US dollars. That includes delivery and tax. I'll put a whole price list with the exact prices I got in the description. But yeah, $113 for an AMD Ryzen 5 5600 is a crazy good deal. And I actually got it from a top brand vendor on AliExpress, so you can trust a little bit more that you're actually going to get what is advertised. Now, this is a 6-core, 12-thread CPU with a boost clock of 4.4 gigahertz, more than enough to support the most demanding titles and graphics cards for a few more years even. Now, it didn't come with a stock cooler, but that's all right. We picked up a Thermalright Assassin X90 SE cooler off of Amazon for $15.95. Once again, all prices are delivery and taxes included. So pretty good deal for that as well. We are pairing the CPU with the battle-tested budget king of graphics cards, the RX 580 8GB 2048 SP. I was able to pick this up off of AliExpress, new from another reputable vendor for only $68.31. I know that's a really low cost for a GPU, especially considering that usually when you're building a PC, you want to put your money in a CPU and really save your money elsewhere and really put the money into the GPU. But for now, I have 1080p monitors. I'm just trying to do some high 1080p gaming, which I'm playing Diablo 4 right now, and that's kind of all I need. And I definitely plan to upgrade the graphics card in the future. And this budget build is kind of geared towards that concept that I am going to be upgrading it. So you're going to see some components here that are a little bit too much for the RX 580 anyway. With this graphics card, we're going to have very respectable 1080p gaming at 60 frames per second, and even some 1440p with FSR in some titles. The motherboard we're working today is the B550MK that I picked up from a local computer parts store called MSY here in Sydney for $90.06. It's got everything we need. This is a micro ATX board with a PCI 4.0 X16 slot that can support even the top tier graphics cards. It's got 4 DDR4 slots. Unfortunately, doesn't come with Wi-Fi, but since this will be my workstation, it's going to be plugged in anyway. For the RAM, we picked up 2 8GB sticks of Patriot Viper 4 Blackout at 3200 MHz CL16 on Amazon for $38.82. For storage, I went with KingSpec 1TB M.2 NVMe Gen 3 from AliExpress for $39.54. That's pretty crazy. It only took 9 days, by the way, to get here, which is the same amount of time for the graphics card. This particular model has sold a lot and has great reviews on AliExpress and Amazon, where it's also sold. Just a little caveat, I can't 100% recommend getting your storage options for your PC off of AliExpress. I'd recommend getting a well-known brand like Samsung or Corsair. I mean, at the end of the day, this is your data. You'd probably want to spend a few extra dollars for some peace of mind. The case we got here is the Antec NX 200M Mini Tower gaming case. Comes with 120mm fan included, glass side panel, perforated top and front panels for max airflow, and perfectly supports our micro ATX board. Got this off of Amazon for $43.40. We're putting in 2 120mm fans on top and two 140mm fans in front for intake. Got both sets off of Amazon. A 3-pack of Up Here Long Life case fans, 120mm for $10.01, and two 140 panel mount quiet high performance fans for $22.43. Now, to power this upgrade in mind budget rig, we got a steal on a beefy MSI MPG A850 watt PSU. More importantly, this is an A tier PSU on the tier list. Yes, I know it's probably way overpowered for an RX 580, but for the price now, I couldn't pass it up since I do plan on upgrading the CPU and the GPU down the line. I got this from MSY store locally for $91.39 USD. This is actually cheaper than you can get it in the States as well, which is insane because there's a huge markup for electronics here in Australia. Everything is cheaper in the States, basically, when it comes to electronics. So to find this cheaper than when you can get it in the States and it be A tier is just insane. It's fully modular, so I only have to use the cables I need, but it fits in the micro ATX case as well. To put this into perspective, the best in-tier C-tier PSU for MSI is the MAG A number BN. The 650 watt version is $116.35 before taxes on Amazon. Even the Thermaltake Power GX1 RGB 600 watt is $80. This was an absolutely amazing find. So those are all the components, and the total price for this build, $533.57. Taxes and delivery included, which is absolutely insane. And for my Australian viewers, this is under $800. It's $799.57 for this build. Let's start building.
One eternity later.
Just like that, magic, I'm back. New clothes, new face, new hair. What wasn't magic was building this PC. Unfortunately, we ran into some complications building this PC, and it did take quite a long time to troubleshoot and get it sorted. Basically, had it completely built up and it wouldn't power on. Nothing was working, the PSU would click, so I did a couple of tests. Long story short, we've got it finished. Beautiful PC, really easy to work with case actually, I find anyway. It's a micro ATX, so it's kind of small form factor, but let's bring this in. Check this out. It looks absolutely beautiful. Basically blackout style case, no RGB. Fans are red, but for the most part, this is a blacked out PC, which I really like. So the next step here is we're going to install Windows and get the XMP profile up, as well as update the BIOS. Okay guys, we've got Windows set up and XMP profile set up, BIOS have been updated, everything's been installed, and we're ready to go here. We're going to be doing some benchmarks with Cyberpunk 2077. I have already overclocked the graphics card, so it's not stock, it's just a very slight overclock. Alright, so video wise, we're at 1920 by 1080, Windows borderless. Graphic wise, let's set the preset to high, FSR to quality, and we're going to reduce the motion blur to off because I hate it. Everything else is high. Okay. Let's run the benchmark. So we have the core clock of this GPU set to 13 megahertz, and the memory clock is set to 1764 megahertz. So just a reminder, we have an RX 580 8GB 2048 SPU here, and a Ryzen 5 5600. Decent amount of RAM usage there, and 68 GB of RAM. Memory on the graphics card is only 4600. But we're at 100% usage, so that's good to see. Temperatures are looking alright. Alright, we got 42 frames per second, quality FSR. Let's see if we can get this to, what we have to do to get this to 60 FPS. Settings again, let's set that back to medium or high. We're gonna move it to balanced, or not balanced, performance mode on the FSR, motion blur off again, and we're also gonna reduce this, the anti-aliasing to 8, and shadow mesh quality, let's set that all to medium and low. Low for the shadow, the distance shadows resolution. Yeah, and then volumetric fog low, clouds low, or medium rather, and we'll apply that. And we'll give this a go again. Don't pay attention to the 1% lows and the 0.1% lows. I just realized now that those numbers are probably not accurate. So I'm not restarting the program every time, so it's just kind of taking the average across the whole thing. And we just hit it. Perfect. So with performance preset, some mix of medium to high settings at 1080p, we can get a 60 frame per second average on Cyberpunk. So that brings us to the end of the video, and the final verdict with my first ever PC build is I'm super happy with the results. For spending 533 US dollars or just under 800 Australian dollars, I'm very happy with the performance of this PC. Being able to play Cyberpunk 2077 at 60 frames per second with performance FSR and a mix of high to medium settings at 1080p is amazing, especially considering that I'm using a $68 graphics card. But right now, I'm actually playing more Diablo 4, and I'm able to play that at high settings at 1080p at 60 frames per second, which is exactly what I was hoping for. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. If you've made it to the end of the video, thank you for following along with me in this journey of building a PC. It was super fun. I really enjoyed it, and for this channel, I'm going to be continuing to review tech that I want to review. It's going to be a lot of stuff off of AliExpress just because I want to compare it to what you can get off of Amazon and some local stores and to see if it's really worth getting your tech off of AliExpress. In Australia, it takes less than 2 weeks to get stuff from AliExpress, so it's a really good deal for us. And let's be real, most of the stuff you get off of Amazon anyway is made in China. So there's really not that much of a difference. Hopefully I can shed some light on some tech and save you guys a bit of money in the long run. I really do appreciate it, and if you did like the video, please give it a like and a subscribe if you want to follow for more. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.